I'm Mel Kushner, Chair of the University of Maryland School of Dentistry Board of Visitors, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to the 2021 State of the School Address. As the world continues to confront the COVID-19 pandemic, we remain an institution focused not only on providing a superlative education for our remarkable students, but also ensuring their health and well-being, and that of our patients, faculty, and staff. I commend the dedication shown by our faculty, staff, and students as they have worked together during these difficult times to advance our oral health mission. We also are a school that aims to truly reflect the diverse populations that we serve. The School of Dentistry is committed to fostering a culture of inclusive excellence in which anyone can thrive. As a 1966 graduate who has volunteered at the school for more than 4 decades, I personally have found it a joy to work side by side with colleagues and students who offer different perspectives from mine and from whom I have learned much. Under the leadership of Dean Mark A. Reynolds, I have seen strong progress for the better, and I am excited about what lies ahead. Whether it is education, clinical care, research, or public service, the world's first dental college continues to lead the way. With that in mind, please join me in welcoming Dr. Reynolds, Professor and Dean of the School of Dentistry.
Thank you, Dr. Kushner, for your kind introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 School of Dentistry State of the School Address. With great pleasure, I would like to begin by introducing President Bruce E. Jarrell, who, as you know, was inaugurated last month as the 7th President of the University of Maryland, Baltimore. My congratulations to President Jarrell, who today brings welcoming remarks on behalf of the University of Maryland, Baltimore.
Thank you, Dean Reynolds, and greetings to everyone. It is my pleasure to join the School of Dentistry's virtual State of the School Address and to welcome you. I hope that you feel great pride in the School of Dentistry and all that it's accomplished in the past year. I know that I do. And now we seem to be at another juncture. Should we be expectant that we're getting control of this virus, the disruption it's caused, or expectant that we have a few more rounds to fight? Either way, I'm energized about the future, and I hope that you feel the same way. Energized and excited about what comes next, knowing that you are up to whatever challenges come next. In many respects, dentistry was hit hard. COVID challenged everything that you do, and yet you worked together. You continued educating your students, caring for your patients, and conducting research. COVID put up obstacles. You found safe ways around those obstacles. And despite the disruptions caused by the pandemic, your dental and dental hygiene students graduated on time. Your graduates continued their training and postdoctoral residency programs throughout the country. Despite the obstacles, clinical faculty and staff maintained a robust schedule. Your clinics are now nearly at pre-pandemic levels. What an accomplishment. That is a real commitment. Along the same line, your research faculty continued their excellent track record in research funding as well. And I was pleased to see the Blue Ridge Institute for Medical Research rankings. The School of Dentistry is now ranked 4th among all U.S. dental schools in NIH funding. COVID put up obstacles. You found safe ways around those obstacles. Thank you for being here. Thank you for rising to the occasion. Thank you for your commitment to UMB and to each other. Thank you.
Thank you, President Jarrell. It is my honor to recognize my colleague deans, Dr. Natalie Eddington, Dean of the School of Pharmacy, Dr. Jane Kirschling, Dean of the School of Nursing, Dr. Judy Postmus, Dean of the School of Social Work, Dr. E. Albert Reese, Executive Vice President of Medical Affairs and Dean of the School of Medicine, Professor Donald Tobin, Dean of the School of Law, and Dr. Roger Ward, Provost and Executive Vice President and Dean of the Graduate School. Thank you for your support. I would also like to acknowledge the members of the School of Dentistry's Board of Visitors, including Dr. Kushner, Chair, who introduced this presentation, and Dr. Roy Esco, Vice Chair. Thank you for your counsel and support. Next, I would like to recognize members of the school's Alumni Association Board of Directors, including Dr. Mark Neuger, President, and former classmate, Dr. Joanne Block-Reef, President-elect. My thanks to each of you for your many efforts to foster and promote alumni engagement and support. I would be remiss if I didn't also thank members of our school's leadership and our outstanding faculty and staff, who in the past year have shown remarkable resilience, flexibility, and perseverance during a challenging year, and who make every success possible. Our achievements in education, research, and public service are a direct result of the collective efforts of each member of our faculty and staff. Thank you. Before I continue, I would like to note my appreciation for President Jarrell's forward-thinking and collaborative leadership, as well as that of our vice presidents and my fellow deans. Throughout the pandemic, whether providing appropriate PPE or concise public health messaging through vehicles such as the COVID Recovery Recap newsletters and virtual face-to-face meetings with President Jarrell, UMB's leadership has remained steadfast and strategic. The ability and willingness to adapt and pull together in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic enabled the university and our school to fare well despite the challenges. For example, Dr. Dawn Rhodes, UMB's Senior Vice President and Chief Business and Finance Officer, worked to leverage federal COVID-19 economic relief funds under the CARES Act on behalf of the university, which provided critical support for our clinical education programs and ensured that we were able to continue providing patient care to our community members. Equally important to our successful forward movement is a new addition to our school's leadership team. I am pleased to share that Dr. Eleanor Fleming has been appointed Assistant Dean of Diversity and Inclusion. Dr. Fleming, who joins us from Meharry Medical College, with prior service as a Lieutenant Commander in the U.S. Public Health Service, brings a valuable spectrum of skills, experience, and expertise as a teacher, researcher, and member of the public health sector. She will work closely with the School of Dentistry's leadership and community, as well as Dr. Diane Forbes-Berthoud, UMB's Chief Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Officer and Vice President, to develop a strategic framework that will leverage current efforts and create a sustainable infrastructure that advances inclusive excellence and equity. This year marks the 7th time that I've had the honor of presenting the State of the School Address to university leadership, faculty, staff, students, and friends of the School of Dentistry. Just 2 years ago, few could have foreseen how the COVID-19 virus would upend our lives, our work, and our communities. I am proud to say that we have remained focused on the heart of our mission in training outstanding practitioners and leaders in oral health care, as well as advancing discovery, clinical care, and public service. That is why I've chosen to call this presentation Leading the Way, Inspiring the Next Generation. Central to our mission is making sure social justice is a more visible component of the education we offer students and the environment in which we work and serve our patients. Ultimately, graduating practitioners who are equipped to serve and care for populations spanning a broad range of racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic diversity is of utmost importance. In doing so, we will be able to build on our tradition of preparing students to be future leaders in oral health care and society. Preparing a new generation of oral health leaders who reflect the population they serve is also key to providing better care for patients. I am proud that we continue to successfully recruit a diverse student body. The School of Dentistry is among the top 5 dental schools in the enrollment of Black or African American students. Our spring 2021 semester reflected the School of Dentistry's continued ability to overcome the hurdles posed by the pandemic. Throughout the spring, our first and second year students successfully pursued their didactic learning, albeit remotely. And our third and fourth year students continued developing their knowledge, critical thinking, and technical skills through direct clinical care. This fall, the School of Dentistry welcomed its entering first year dental hygiene and dental class with an in-person orientation week. And as the semester has continued, although faculty, staff, and students are still wearing masks and adhering to physical distancing protocols, it has been a pleasure to see the vibrant activity in the hallways, classrooms, and laboratories. As the fall has unfolded, our students have continued their dental education, attending on-campus lectures, gaining critical experience in the clinics, and participating in in-person events. As you know, a vital component of any great education is that of mentorship, and I am pleased to acknowledge Dr. Isabel Rambob, Clinical Assistant Professor in the Department of Neural and Pain Sciences, as the inaugural recipient of the Umbrella Person of the Year Leading the Way Award, presented last March by the Umbrella Group, a UMB community building organization created to empower women and those who identify as women. This award honors Dr. Rambob's mentorship of our students and her work as co-director of the school's Domestic Violence Survivorship Clerkship. Congratulations, Dr. Rambob. Under the leadership of Dr. Mark Masick, Professor, Department of Dental Public Health, and Assistant Dean for Curriculum Innovation and Scholarship, the school will begin a comprehensive review of the dental curriculum with the goal of enhancing the integration and alignment of the curriculum with accreditation standards and outcomes to promote optimal learning and preparation of graduates. Dr. Masick will focus on advancing our education programs to ensure our graduates are prepared to assume leadership roles in delivering oral health care, addressing oral health inequities, and strengthening our health systems. Strong student engagement is one hallmark of an inclusive institution, and I am pleased to introduce a few of our outstanding student leaders. Ms. Jasmine Jones, a fourth-year dental student and president of the class of 2022, has been named as one of UMB's inaugural Students of the Year. In addition to her class presidency, Ms. Jones, who will begin a 4-year military commitment as a U.S. Army dentist after graduation, is co-founder of the UMSOD Global Health Student Association and served as vice president of the chapter. She also holds leadership roles in numerous other national student-run organizations, including the UMSOD chapters of the Hispanic Dental Association, American Student Dental Association, and Maryland Academy of Pediatric Dentistry. Congratulations, Ms. Jones. I am also extremely proud to share that the School of Dentistry's chapter of the Student National Dental Association, or SNDA, won several national awards earlier this year. Perhaps most significantly, it was named the 2021 Chapter of the Year in the large chapter category in recognition of its exemplary achievement in community service, chapter activity, and member involvement. In presenting this honor, the Student National Dental Association recognizes student chapters that excel in their leadership and accomplishments, particularly in areas of community outreach and service. I'm pleased to say that this is the 8th consecutive year that UMSOD has won either first or second place as Chapter of the Year. Additionally, the UMSOD chapter was also a recipient of the Colgate Bright Smiles, Bright Futures Award, a national competition recognizing an innovative outreach program promoting the oral health of minorities in the community for the second consecutive year. In addition, the UMSOD chapter was recipient of the National Dental Association's Legacy of Excellence Award in recognition of its continued overall achievements. My congratulations to the members of the SNDA. I'm also pleased to share that Ms. Kaylin Galubier, Dental Hygiene Class of 2022, was awarded an undergraduate scholarship this past academic year by the University of Maryland Alumni Association International. Selection was based on outstanding academic achievement, leadership involvement, and contributions to the UMB community and beyond. Only 2 undergraduate students from UMB were selected for the award. Congratulations, Ms. Galubier. At the School of Dentistry, a priority is to transform oral health care and improve quality of life through research, innovation, and discovery. I would like to highlight some of the achievements and successes of our distinguished faculty. In March, we announced the appointment of Dr. Renty Franklin, professor, as chair of the Department of Oncology and Diagnostic Sciences. Dr. Franklin brings years of leadership and pioneering research to the role. He is internationally recognized for his scientific contributions, particularly in the areas of prostate physiology, zinc transporters, citrate metabolism, and cancer, focusing on zinc's role in citrate accumulation and changes in zinc levels associated with tumor growth. His groundbreaking research has led to the use of magnetic resonance spectroscopy imaging in the diagnosis and staging of prostate cancer. Dr. Franklin is also a highly distinguished educator and well-respected mentor. Congratulations, Dr. Franklin. In September, we announced the appointment of Dr. Robert Ernst, the Dr. Paul and Mrs. Jean Corcoran Endowed Professor, as chair of the Department of Microbial Pathogenesis. Dr. Ernst's innovative research on infectious diseases focuses on the molecular interaction of bacterial membrane lipids with the immune system and their role in systemic infections, technologies for the rapid identification of pathogens, and vaccine development. He is also actively engaged in training the next generation of scientists. Congratulations, Dr. Ernst. In October, we announced the appointment of Dr. Richard Traub, professor, as chair of the Department of Neural and Pain Sciences. Dr. Traub's research interests include studying the role of gonadal hormones underlying sex differences in visceral pain, a field in which he was an early leader, and the circuitry and mechanisms involved in the transition from transient to chronic visceral pain. His recent work has focused on the effects of stress on oral, and visceral pain in animal models of chronic overlapping pain conditions. Congratulations, Dr. Traub. In May, Dr. Darian Weatherspoon joined the School of Dentistry as a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Dental Public Health. Formerly director of the Health Disparities Research Program at the National Institute of Dental and Craniofacial Research, Dr. Weatherspoon is currently developing a research program focused on better understanding the multi-level factors contributing to oral health disparities in order to develop effective interventions. Importantly, too, he is helping to integrate this science into our dental curriculum. Dr. Weatherspoon's experience at the NIDCR and his background as a public health dentist will bolster our efforts to better serve a diverse patient population. I also would like to highlight the innovative work of Dr. Roddy Masri, professor and chief of the Division of Prosthodontics, Department of Advanced Oral Sciences and Therapeutics. Dr. Masri recently was named a recipient of a Wilson H. Elkins Endowed Professorship. Awarded by the University System of Maryland, the appointment supports compelling research, scholarship, or community engagement projects aimed at improving quality of life. Dr. Masri is investigating barriers to oral health care, specifically dental implants, in underrepresented communities of West Baltimore. Please allow me to introduce Dr. Masri.
As a Wilson H.L. Wilkins professor, I intend to perform an epidemiology project to study what are the factors that cause barriers for underrepresented minorities to receive and accept dental implants as a treatment. Here at the dental school, we have a large pool of patients that seek treatment for many reasons. Obviously, one of the treatments that we provide is surgical treatment with dental implants and the restorative aspects of it. We find that there's a lot of that dental implants, when they're proposed to the patients, they're not always accepted. And many times the reason is because of lack of education for the patient. Part of this project is, one, to understand those reasons and understand in patients that reject that treatment why the rejection happens, with a special focus on underrepresented minorities, because they tend to be the ones that reject those treatments more. But also the project has an outreach arm to the community, where we will go out to those communities that are underrepresented and try to educate them about dental implants, specifically about the dental school and how we do dental implants, what are the processes involved, the benefits of having dental implants. That's the most important aspect of practicing dentistry, is giving the patient the tools to understand the treatment they're provided so that when they make a decision, they are very well informed. This is very close to heart because it allows me to understand ways to improve oral health of patients and overall health, systemic health of the patient. It'll allow us to also increase the patient pool that comes to school requiring dental implants, and this will also help educating the dental students when they have more experiences and so on.
Thank you, Dr. Masri. I would like to mention that Dr. Masri and alumnus Dr. Michael Wright, CEO and founder of the Right Guard Innovations Corporation, have partnered to develop a smart athletic mouthguard. This innovative mouthguard is being designed to provide real-time monitoring of physiologic and other biometrics, such as body temperature, pH and hydration levels, and impact forces to reduce the risk of injuries and improve performance. Dr. Wright's company, which is a UMB startup, recently received a Small Business Innovation Research Grant from the National Science Foundation that will support the company's Phase 1 research and development activities. Congratulations, Dr. Wright and Dr. Masri. I am pleased to share that Dr. Man-Kyo Chung, Professor, Department of Neural and Pain Sciences, is the recipient of an 8-year, $8 million Sustaining Outstanding Achievement in Research grant from the National Institute of Dental and Craniofacial Research. The grant is awarded to mid-career professionals in recognition of outstanding research, leadership, and service. A distinguished dentist scientist, Dr. Chung is notable for his research on neurobiologic mechanisms of oral and craniofacial pain and the neural regulation of alveolar bone remodeling. He has been the recipient of numerous other National Institutes of Health grants during his time at the UMSOD. Most recently, Dr. Chung was named co-director of the University of Maryland Center to Advance Chronic Pain Research. Under the leadership of the center's co-directors, Dr. Susan Dorsey, School of Nursing, and Dr. Chung, scientists are conducting cutting-edge biomedical research to advance our understanding and treatment of chronic pain. Dr. Chung also currently serves as UMSOD Interim Assistant Dean of Research. Congratulations, Dr. Chung.
My research is about mechanism and treatments of craniofacial pain, and I have long been interested in craniofacial muscle pain and neuropathic pain and also tooth pain as well. And our research has been primarily focused on receptor for capsaicin. The capsaicin is a major ingredient of the chili pepper, and that makes us feel hot and burn. And interestingly, this capsaicin not only produces burning pain, but also it cures some chronic pain conditions. So our lab is interested in the capsaicin receptor, how it contributes to produce pain and also treats pain. The pain sensing nerves are all projected to the periodontium, which support our teeth, but it is not very well known if these pain sensing nerves are actually regulating this bone around the teeth. So what we study now is we study if this capsaicin receptor or pain sensing nerves around this tooth can actually contribute to the bone destruction under different pathological conditions such as gingivitis or periodontitis. This R35 award is not only for the research projects, but also it is for the past track record in not only in research but also in education and service overall. So I was very honored to receive this grant because it support, based on my past track record, it support very flexible development of my research projects in different areas in coming 8 years. So that's why it is very special to me.
Thank you, Dr. Chung. Another School of Dentistry researcher leading the fight against chronic pain is Johannes Melamedjian, Assistant Professor, Department of Neural and Pain Sciences. In the last academic year, he received 2 significant NIH awards, a 4-year, $1.5 million grant from the National Cancer Institute to study chemotherapy-induced pain, and a 4-year, $1.5 million grant from the National Institute of Neurologic Disorders and Stroke to study chronic post-surgical pain. Together with Dr. Richard Traub, Dr. Melamedjian is also the recipient of a 4-year, $3 million grant from the National Institute of Dental and Craniofacial Research to use brain imaging to study chronic overlapping pain. Their work has the potential to reduce the suffering of many with pain disorders. Congratulations, Dr. Melamedjian and Dr. Traub. At the School of Dentistry, we have a number of early career researchers who are advancing discoveries in oral health and beyond, such as Dr. Emily Chu, Assistant Professor, Department of General Dentistry, who joined the school in June. Dr. Chu conducts research in the areas of periodontal development, maintenance, and regeneration, and is the recipient of a 3-year, $750,000 Pathways to Independence NIDCR grant, which will allow her to provide critical information about the roles of pyrophosphate regulators in the mineralization processes. She uses a variety of histologic, imaging, and molecular biology techniques to investigate these factors in her in vivo and in vitro studies. As a clinician scientist who also practices in the school's faculty practice, Dr. Chu aims to translate outcomes into tangible clinical applications. Dr. Joyce De Silva, a researcher in the laboratory of Dr. David Semenowicz, Associate Professor, Department of Neural and Pain Sciences, is investigating brain mechanisms related to sex and age differences in chronic pain conditions in pursuit of novel treatments. She has received recognition from the Society for Neuroscience twice, first as a participant in its Neuroscience Scholars Program, which provides underrepresented graduate students and postdoctoral researchers with online training focused on career development, as well as recently with a Trainee Professional Development Award presented to students and postdoctoral fellows who demonstrate scientific merit and excellence in research. I am also pleased to note that she is the inaugural participant from the University System of Maryland and a National Science Foundation program designed to recruit and hire promising postdoctoral biomedical sciences scholars from historically underrepresented populations. Allison Scott is a scientist in the Department of Microbial Pathogenesis. Her research focuses primarily on the role of lipids and lipid metabolites in infection and inflammation. In previous investigations, she defined new roles for lipids in shaping the immune response during acute bacterial infection. She is currently working to extend these findings into new model systems, including oral cancers, chronic pain conditions, and neuroinflammation. Additionally, she has received a $275,000 grant from the National Institute of Aging to develop a probiotic strain of bacteria aimed at improving cognitive outcomes in Alzheimer's disease. She also is bringing her expertise in mass spectrometry imaging to stage tumors, identify novel host-directed therapy targets and infections, and map drugs and drug metabolites, which hold great potential for providing novel strategies to advance patient care. Rigorous scholarship is important for the advancement of science, education, and clinical care, and the school continues to place a priority on scholarly works. I am pleased to share that our faculty efforts have culminated in the publication of more than 100 peer-reviewed articles in many high-impact journals during the academic year, reflecting a sustained high level of scholarship and a strong commitment to advancing science, education, and patient care. Research grants and contracts also remain a strategic priority for the school. A major emphasis has been on broadening our research portfolio in the areas of oral, dental, and craniofacial sciences, while increasing our total extramural research funding. As you can see here, we continue to expand our funding portfolio, providing the foundation for future innovation and advances in healthcare. In 2020, the School of Dentistry ranked 4th in NIH funding among all U.S. private and public dental schools. We hope to again advance our ranking in 2021. As always, an overarching goal of the School of Dentistry is to provide exceptional clinical care to the citizens of Maryland and superlative training to the next generation of oral health providers. At the onset of the pandemic, 2 heightened priorities for the school were to ensure the safety of our patients, students, faculty and staff while continuing to offer exemplary clinical training and provide outstanding patient care. The dedication and effective responses of our faculty and staff enabled our clinics to continue providing excellent care to our community members in an atmosphere in which they felt safe and comfortable throughout the pandemic. I am pleased to share that during the past academic year, in spite of the pandemic, our faculty and student clinicians treated more than 18,000 patients during nearly 76,000 patient care visits. Additionally, there have been no documented COVID-19 transmissions between either provider and patient or patient and provider in the school's dental clinics. Public service also lies at the core of our mission. Our students actively participate in community engagement, local clinical care, and workforce pipeline development, with faculty members often leading the way. Although in-person events such as this photo taken during a pre-pandemic Mission of Mercy were put on hold due to the pandemic, that did not stop our students and faculty from pursuing public service virtually. I will highlight some of these digital successes in a moment. First, though, I would like to mention our ongoing efforts to ensure lasting improvements to healthcare access. I am pleased to be co-chairing with Mr. Alexander Shekhdar, Acting Director in the Office of Medical Benefits and Medicaid Director in the Maryland Department of Health, a task force that is investigating barriers to oral health care throughout the state. Task force members who began meeting earlier this fall are charged by the state with analyzing access to care for all residents with a particular emphasis on barriers to oral health care. The task force will submit a final report of its findings and recommendations to the governor on or before next December 1st. Moving from the state to a local level, the university and our school are deeply aware of our responsibility as a health and human services provider to our neighbors in West Baltimore. In 2021, the school treated more than 3,000 members of the West Baltimore community, and we are working currently to strengthen our ties to the area and the people we serve. Along with our sister institutions at UMB and the University of Maryland Medical Center, we are part of a new initiative, the Primary Care Strategy Serving West Baltimore, which aims to design a coordinated and cohesive approach in delivering primary health care service to individuals, families, and neighborhoods in West Baltimore that would result in significantly improved patient experiences and outcomes. At the school, Dr. Darian Weatherspoon and Dr. Kate Noonan are the leads on this important project. I look forward to working with them to improve our collective primary care and community engagement capabilities. The school's commitment to public service, however, extends far beyond Baltimore city limits. Last spring, Dr. Frank Serio was awarded an honorary Doctor of Public Service degree by UMB in recognition of his decades of service. As founder of the Dominican Dental Mission Project, a nonprofit dedicated to providing free dental care to the people of the rural Dominican Republic, Dr. Serio has spent nearly 40 years working to expand access to oral health care while also serving as an educator and dental practitioner. Dr. Serio's project has helped enrich dental students' experiential learning and global perspective. For his public service, Dr. Serio received a President's Volunteer Action Award from President George H.W. Bush in 1991 and a Daily Points of Light Award from President George W. Bush in 2001. In the following video, Dr. Serio reflects on his public service.
When I started teaching at the University of Maryland in 1981, I had a month off. I liked to travel. I wanted to do something useful while I was traveling. So I reached out to the Catholic Medical Mission Board, and they made the connection for me in the Dominican Republic. So I was in the Dominican for a month, did a bunch of, just did fillings and extractions. I literally had no idea what I was doing because I had never done this before. There weren't a lot of people who knew how to do it. So the way the project evolved after that was I gave a little lunch and learn to a bunch of dental students. Several of them said, hey, can we do this? And I said, let me find out. The mission board said fine, the nun said fine. So the University of Maryland Dental School actually, me as the faculty, students coming, that is literally how the Dominican Dental Mission Project started, not having any idea that we would still be going 40 years later. Well, part of what people need to realize, and I'm really talking now to the dental students and to young alums, because sometimes people feel that they can't do these types of things when they're young, just trying to start their practice, their families, everything. But it will all be there when they get back, and there's no question about that. But we have portable skills. We can take our skills virtually anywhere in the world. As dentists, it doesn't matter what our background is, we have been given a lot. And to those who've been given a lot, much is expected as well. And so, however, you can't pay back the people who support us necessarily, but we have to be able to pay it forward.
Thank you, Dr. Serio, for your important work. I would now like to recognize several other examples of public service. Dr. Melvin Kushner, a 1966 alumnus, has also worked tirelessly on behalf of the School of Dentistry and the oral health profession. Dr. Kushner, who is the chair of the school's Board of Visitors and who introduced this presentation, has sought throughout his career to advance the training of our students and expand access to oral health care throughout Maryland. For these steadfast efforts, Dr. Kushner is a recipient of a 2021 UMB Catalyst of Excellence Award, which was presented to him just a few weeks ago at UMB's annual Founders Week Gala. I would like to congratulate Dr. Kushner and to thank him for his longtime support of the school and mentorship of our students. Each year, the Planet Smiles Discovering Dentistry Camp at the School of Dentistry introduces middle and high school students to dentistry through hands-on experiences. Last summer, the program, which is part of UMB's Cure Scholars program, was held virtually for the second consecutive year. During the week-long camp, Cure Scholars reviewed actual cases of oral cancer and learned to analyze, diagnose, and present clinical case studies that were then critiqued by Dr. Donita Dalram, clinical assistant professor and director of the Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery Residency Program. The program was a clear success. Throughout the pandemic, Ms. Hee-Yoon Kim, dental hygiene class of 2022, served the public in a different manner by offering translation services to the Baltimore City Mayor's office and preparing COVID-19 related public service announcements for residents that speak Korean. Kudos, Ms. Kim. As you're aware, UMB is in the midst of the Catalyst campaign. Throughout this presentation, I hope you have enjoyed learning about the School of Dentistry's campaign priorities, which are reflected in our transformative initiatives and programs. I would like to share a few more achievements and milestones from last year. Thanks to our donors, I am pleased to report that as of last June 30th, we had raised nearly $29 million, or 96% of our total Catalyst campaign goal of $30 million. The generosity of our alumni and friends has immediate and lasting impact, enabling us to honor our legacy while educating and inspiring students who will graduate and go on to make significant contributions to society. Endowed professorships empower universities to recruit, retain, and recognize outstanding faculty members, as well as support in perpetuity their work as educators, scholars, researchers, and clinicians. The philanthropic establishment of endowments by alumni and friends helps foster lasting academic excellence. Dr. Robert Ernst, Professor and Chair, Department of Microbial Pathogenesis, is the inaugural recipient of the Dr. Paul and Mrs. Jean Corcoran Endowed Professorship, the third endowed professorship at the school since 2014. UMSOD honored Dr. Ernst last May at a virtual investiture ceremony. Established by Dr. Paul Corcoran, dental class of 1975, and Mrs. Jean Corcoran, the endowed professorship will enable the School of Dentistry to retain an outstanding researcher and educator in microbiology, whose work will further basic and applied research in critical areas, including the diagnosis, pathogenesis, and treatment of infections and infectious diseases. Since arriving at UMSOD in 2008, Dr. Ernst has received more than $14 million in research funding from agencies including the National Institutes of Health, the U.S. Department of Defense, and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. a co-founder of Pathogen LLC, a company developing rapid lipid-based diagnostic and antimicrobial platforms. Dr. Ernst, who holds 15 awarded or pending patents, is also in discussions to establish a Maryland-based startup for the commercialization of novel adjuvants using patented technologies developed at his laboratory. Congratulations, Dr. Ernst, and my deepest appreciation to Dr. and Mrs. Corcoran. With great pleasure, I now would like to announce that alumna Dr. Karen Ivers, dental class of 1988, has recently pledged $1.5 million to the School of Dentistry to endow a fourth professorship in support of academic excellence and discovery-driven research. Dr. Ivers is a longtime supporter of the School of Dentistry. For years, as a dentist in private practice in Chevy Chase, Maryland, she served as a dean's faculty member, driving from Montgomery County to Baltimore to mentor and teach our dental students. Dr. Ivers' generosity reflects her understanding of the vital importance of attracting and retaining the finest faculty members, and her gift will enable the school to continue its tradition of excellence and innovation in teaching and research. I am deeply appreciative of her support. My thanks to Dr. Ivers. Throughout today's presentation, I've spoken about the vital importance of workforce development in oral health care. Scholarships play a key role in helping to remove barriers to education and to ensure access to the learning and experiential opportunities extended to students once they have enrolled in the dental school. In recent years, we have seen significant increases in our scholarship endowment, and continuing to do so remains an important focus of our capital campaign. I would like to share that the number of scholarships available to students has increased in the past 6 years from 39 scholarships in 2015 to 74 in 2021. In that time span, our total scholarship endowment has grown by more than $6 million, from about $2.5 million to nearly $8.9 million. Continuing the theme of increased scholarship support, I am pleased to announce that Dr. LaShonda Shepard, dental class of 2021, and Mr. Frederick Flanagan, dental class of 2022, were the inaugural recipients of the Dean Scholarship for Leadership and Excellence. Designed to honor and support students who succeed within the classroom and clinic, demonstrate promise as leaders, and aspire to continue working in public service, the $25,000 scholarship is supported primarily by the School of Dentistry Socks for Scholarships fundraising program. We are exceedingly grateful to each of our donors. Congratulations to our inaugural recipients, Dr. Shepard and Mr. Flanagan. I would like to thank each of you for allowing me to share these highlights of the past year. I hope that you will join me as we build our legacy as a preeminent leader in academic health science and shared commitment to educating, challenging, and inspiring the oral health leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for all that you do in support of the School of Dentistry and for participating in this virtual State of the School address.